What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, one of Kevin Durant's biggest fans, at least on TV, it appears, is starting to wean off of old KD. All right, or maybe he's showing him tough love. Who knows? But recently, Skip Bayless has been taking shots at Kevin Durant for quote folding against the Boston Celtics. Right? He said that quote get to what he had to say. He said on the Skip Bayless show, as you know, the Celtics roughed up Kevin Durant and he crumbled and he folded. He was overwhelmed, ultimately overmatched. Mr. Burner accounts just got burnt. His thin skin gave away and it showed very little heart and little to no guts when push come to shove literally against that onslaught. The Celtics exposed Kevin Durant, dare I say soft, as intimidable as Kevin DeCant. Moreover, Skip mentioned three of the fiercest competitors in NBA history and compared Durant to them, claiming that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan would have never been overwhelmed by the task at hand. Game 4 was actually an indictment of games 1, 2, and 3 when he was just completely overwhelmed by the onslaught. No great player, no alpha player would be overwhelmed. The Jordans, the Birds, the Magics, just give me the damn ball and get out of the way. I don't care if two came after me. Two come after every great player, almost every possession. You just beat the double team. And look, I don't particularly care for Skip Bayless. You all know that. But at the same time, I've never been enthralled by KD. I never thought that he was the best player in the league. I've often said, well, other people say he's the best player, or the media says he's the best player, but I've never thought he was the best player. Not really. You can make an argument for it at times, but it's hard. It was hard for me to put a guy who did what he did. Look, he has every right to do what he wanted to do in free agency. That's 100% correct. But it's just hard for me to put a guy who joined the team that just beat him after coming from a 3-1 deficit and beating him. That was just a weak move. Now, I know a lot of people like to say this. Well, didn't Charles Barkley do the same thing? He joined the Rockets after they beat him, after he came out for a 3-1 deficit. Yes and no. Yes, the Rockets did come back from a 3-1 deficit from the Phoenix Suns and beat and eliminated his team. And then Barkley did join the Rockets. But the difference is he didn't join them in the spring of in the summer of '95. He joined them in the summer of '96 when both teams were rebuilding. Remember, Phoenix went 59-23 during the 94-95 season, but 95-96 was a different beast. What we have to remember was Dan Marley had left. Trying to remember everybody that left that team. Dan Marley had left in free agency. Kevin Johnson had declared that '96 was going to be his last year. I think he wound up playing in '97 and then I think he ended up playing in '97 then retiring and then come back later on. But KJ had already declared he was going to retire. Many other pieces of that team had left in free agency. Some guys had retired. Danny Ainge had retired. That team was rebuilding. They went 41-41. Charles Barkley's time with that team was coming to an end. The Rockets, who were defending champion, were eliminated in the second round after beating the Lakers. Magic Johnson's swan song in the NBA in the first round. The Lakers were swept. Excuse me. The Rockets were swept by the Sonics, the eventual Western Conference champions in the second round that year. And the Rockets were rebuilding. They were in rebuilding mode. That team was starting to be broken up. And Olajuwon was showing signs of slowing down, as were Clyde Drexler. So it was the same, but then again, it wasn't the same. But anyway, yeah, KD is who he was, man. That was always Steph Curry's team. Playing with Steph Curry, playing with Klay Thompson, two of the greatest shooters the game has ever seen, arguably the two greatest outside shooters of all time, clutch performers, when you incorporate their percentages and their volume, yeah, life is going to be easier for KD. So I never was convinced that this guy was all that as far as being this demonstrative, take charge, I'm going to put a team on my back, let's go. No, I've never thought that was him. He's a great player, but not a great leader. So anyway, tell me what you guys think.